Alrighty guys, welcome back to another video. So we're going to be doing this video without my headphones on, just a bit of a life update for you. My hair's wet and I'm trying to wait for it to dry, so if I keep pulling it in and out of my face, I do apologise, but I don't want to put headphones on a soggy head. So we're here to kind of talk about this. And I think I can... Isn't there a way to filter? Oh, there we go. Filter by this, but I don't need to. So let's talk about what's happened with LRs and what they've done, I suppose. I kind of just want to have a bit of a, not so much a rant, but a bit of a discussion around these units, why they are the way they are, and what originally was an incredibly cool concept, and obviously happened in other gacha games as well, but kind of became a bit underwhelming. We started very strong, and then it became very, very underwhelming. So let's do a timeline. So what do we have? We had Lost Vein first, which was a great unit on release, right? Lots of fun, did heaps of damage, really kind of brought back one of the original fun units or people's favorite units, right? Then I forget where we went from there. Pretty sure it was Escanor, all right? Somewhere it was Escanor or the next one I'm obviously going to touch on. Escanor was also awesome, right? We had a green unit. It was the old school green Escanor, which everyone loved. His passive was a little bit restrictive when it came to just having humans in the entire team, but it was very, very cool, and he became kind of quite dominant in PvP for a while, and he had quite a few uses as well. Then came either one of these two. I can't quite remember, but I'm going to go to this. Then came this unit. This unit was a game changer. This was crazy. This was by far the best PvE unit in the game. Became insanely strong and really, really helped everyone in terms of just handling and dealing with different PvE scenarios. And this was a fantastic addition to the LR lineup. Then came Ludo. This one I felt was just really not needed or didn't do enough. It did improve on Ludo a little bit, but it wasn't enough to kind of, justify it, right? So basically what we ended up happening, we had a good unit that everyone loved, that was good in PvP, good in PvE, was lots and lots of fun to play, and was a crowd favorite, right? Then we had LR Escanor, who also was a great unit, right? Fan favorite, was still very viable in PvP, and was very, very good in PvE, and was good in PvE as well, because his passive was, this Eternal Flame was a grey debuff. And then came LR Liz, who was just insane. So we're just doing this at the moment, right, in terms of LR units. They were so, so good. They were doing really, really well. And then we had a bit of what I thought was a blip in the radar, which was Ludo. Now, I thought Ludo was kind of just not very necessary. Didn't really kind of bring too much more to any sort of gameplay. Like, yes, sure, the... crit damage and crit chance was nice, and sure, the crit resistance lower was nice as well, but this card didn't change at level 1. It changed at level 2 and level 3, but level 1 was the same, which is when you really used it, right? Excuse me. So that was a bit of a blip, and then I was like, okay, like, they can't all be incredible. Where do we go from here? Now, this is when I'm pretty sure we got Zeldris. Everyone was super, super stoked for Zeldris. Super, super keen for Zeldris. Also, if I'm off in terms of timeline, I do apologize. I'm kind of doing this ad hoc, and I haven't done all my research and remembering of exactly when all of them were, but I know roughly when they were. And I can't seem to stop coughing. So, then we got Zeldris. Oh, my hair's in my mouth. This is a nightmare of a video. Stay with me, fam. Stay with me. So this was awesome because, this is what we thought was going to be awesome, because Zeldris was a unit that everyone really, really wanted to see do some damage. We got a crit resistance lower, despair card, we got a spike card, we got an increase in, like, he's always had a spike card, but we got like the increase in crit chance, crit damage, and we actually had quite a cool passive that worked with his commandment, which basically increased crit damage and crit chance, right? So it turned Zeldris into a damage dealer, which was wicked. But then in kind of reality and practice, he required you to have to move cards in order to proc the... let's go into it. It required you to move cards in order to proc... Can Can I even move it? I can't even move it. In order to proc the additional crit chance, right? So that kind of meant you only got 2 goes when you went with Zeldris. And that was really a big downer because you wanted to move a card, use that AoE, and then go in with his spike card, which gave you the crit damage, and you did some very good damage. It was crazy. The damage was awesome. You did heaps, but you missed out on a go. And if they had dodge food or something in PvP, it wasn't great. And then on top of that, you had he did extra damage when attacking a debuff enemy. So again, it's kind of really only applicable in PvP because PvE, they can't really get debuffed anymore, right? And he was a bit squishy. Transparently, my Zeldris is... I mean, look, my Zeldris is not by any means maxed out, right? Like, I'm not... Like, if you guys are going to sit there and go, oh, yeah, you need to invest in all those cosmetics and weapons and blah, blah, blah. Sure, 100% you do, right? True Awaken them, all that kind of jazz. But I'm talking just in general use of the game, right? Like, he wasn't viable, really. Like, let's be honest, he was fun in certain scenarios, but it was by no means to kind of the level of like what Lostvane was, what Escanor was, what Liz was for PvE, and then what, even Ludo was for the Goddess team, right? He just basically got, if you don't one-shot a person in the first turn, you then died, and it was like, okay, you're trading 1 for 1 here. So we're going downhill again, right? We're doing this, now we're coming back down like this. Next was then Glox. Now, fair enough, Glox has a little bit of use with this passive, but this defense-related passive was already part of his kit, and he did get a Holy Relic. This Holy Relic was great, and it was lots of fun for the Fairies team, because, you got the crit damage, crit chance, and then you also got the basic stats as well. So this did make Fairies fun, right? And having this defense-related increase and stuff was good, but this was just part of his passive anyway. And then this card became a Sever card, which, sure, Sever cards are good. And then this still did nothing on level 1. You still have to get it to level 2, and then it disables attack and buff skills. But, like, level 1 does nothing. So, granted, look, you couldn't give him disables attack skills on level 1. 100% fair, I get that. But you still have just a useless card. And he does have a very annoying commandment. In the sense of PvP, if you use 2 or more skills in one turn, you get a 30% attack-related stat decrease. So you always had to use different cards. So, again, like, this was probably probably on par with LR Zeldris, I would say, or maybe a slight increase, and that's probably me being biased because I liked the Fairy team, right? I thought the Fairy team was a lot of fun, and I thought the concept of it was wicked. And then we had the last 2. Galland and Lilia. These 2 are awful. Like, there's no real way around it. They're not good units. Yes, they had a stat buff. Yes, they had a couple of things increased. This is amplified. Like, I think what's frustrating me as well is they're just depleting. They're adding a normal card and then depletes 1 ultimate gauge. Like, what does that do? Like, this spike, cool, sure, is nice, but like, he sucks. This does nothing, right? This is useless, really. Like, in practice, like, sure, it sounds good and looks good here. Here is attack-related stats increases. You get a buff increase for your Amplify card. You can do extra damage to petrified enemy. You coerce it. Like, all this stuff sounds good. Same thing with Lilia, right? Lilia overall, like, sounds pretty good in terms of 50% damage reduction. You get an attack-related stat increase for every power destruction removed. This has become a Pierce card, which is better. This is an Infect card. Like... And this has become a, Sever AoE, including removing buffs. So, like, on paper, these sound pretty good. I was really excited for Lilia. But, like, the big problem, jumping around a little bit, the big problem with Lilia is she has 7 catastrophes. There's no support for her. But these 2 are just, like, there's no application for them in which you'd use them. And I think that's kind of what the problem that we're getting to with these is that the only real 2 that you could even say are usable in the game anymore are these 2. Right? This Liz is great, don't get me wrong, phenomenal, great PvE unit, I can't see her going anywhere. She just does so much for a team, it's brilliant. This, just because she's part of the Goddess team, and like you would use her anyway, so I think she would still be a part of it even without her LR stats. to be honest. I don't see maybe a better team. You guys can probably correct me in the comments, but like that's kind of just what the team she runs with. And then like Escanor's been replaced like twice over, or once over, I guess. This Melly's been replaced like twice over. Well, again, maybe once over, because Perg Melly I think was before. So like these two have both had replacements. Galland is shocking. There's no support for Lilia. Zeldris, you can't run it with the Demon King as well, which is another negative I forgot to obviously mention before. You can't run these two together, and Demon King is still a part of the Demon team. So, like, and Galland is just straight up useless. Like, this is still fun for PvP every so often, but like, I know we get power creep in the game, and I know things happen where, you know, new units replace it and stuff like that, but like, even this was a brand new LR unit, and it just feels like they're just getting worse and worse, and like, Galland didn't even get a Holy Relic, right? Like, I maxed up all his stuff in terms of defense, because I knew he was gonna, like, we started off so good, and then we kept going up, and then it feels like as LR seals have gotten easier to get, the quality of the unit has just gone down. Maybe Netmarble realized that, you know, it's better to bring out UR festivals that are just broken, right? Because then people will spend money on the game instead of, you know, just being able to LR stuff. But like, having the fact that, I mean, yeah, all of these units are better than every single LR unit, including the ones that came out after it, right? Like, the UR unit got released, and then the LR unit came out after it, and the LR unit's still better. So it just, I don't know. I mean, you guys let me know whether you think down in the comments, but like, it feels like, I'd like a decent LR unit again. Like, this was brilliant, and like, sure, we don't want one that just completely dominates PvP, and I know that's a hard balance, and rah, but like, this is a great PvE unit for support. It just feels like they're like, if you don't spend gems and don't spend money and get the good units, then there's just no point in LRing. Like, I don't see the point in LRing units. I almost, like, to this point, I would almost say, like, don't LR units and just True Awaken units that you use. Like, I'm kind of working my way through the True Awakening stuff, slowly but surely. I'm just kind of picking units at this point. I actually need to do one for either fairies or giants, I think, is what I'm up to next. But yeah, it's so upsetting. It's so upsetting. Like, I mean, like, this is the thing, like, with how restricted the passes are as well, I can't even put Lilia in with Escanor now. Because his passive works only with humans, sure, but then her passive only works with 7 catastrophes, and she has no current support. So look, Netmarble might come out and suddenly have a bunch of support units for Lilia, but I don't know. They're just falling flat, and it's really upsetting. I think it's such a good concept, and it's such a cool initiative, and sure, they're giving out more LR seals, so it's easy to get, but like, honestly, I would recommend maybe getting maybe Glox if you're doing Ratatosk, and then these two, like, and then, well, just Liz, basically, and then maybe Margaret. Like, these are the only 2, maybe 3. You know, I use LR Liz, that's a lie. I use Ludo. So these 3 out of the 8 LR units that I've got are the only ones that I kind of use, and 2 of them are for Ratatosk, and that's it. And one of them is just for, like, high CC, or, like, high points knighthood stuff. And the odd goddess team. So I don't know. It just feels lackluster. Anyway, I think that'll do for my rank, guys. Let me know what you think. Again, do you reckon I'm off base? Do you reckon I'm bang on? Maybe spend it on True Awakening people. Check out my video around True Awakening if you guys do want some tips on who to True Awaken. And I've also do have a video back in terms of like who to LR back when Glox came out. But I think I've kind of just even laid that out there for you. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. And as always, I'll catch you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.